Somebody asked me if my simulator theory can explain aliens and UFOs, and the answer is a big ol' yes. Not only can it explain aliens and UFOs, it does so beautifully and better than any other theory that I have found. It can actually make sense of things that are currently just unexplainable. So this video might make your head hurt a little bit as our awareness expands. It's sort of like being sore after going to the gym. It's a good thing. But, let's dive right in. So in my simulator theory, I postulate that the entire cosmos, whether it's this physical matter reality here or our dream world or the astral, are all made of the same stuff. But the system can apply rule sets to different areas, which make them unique and special and behave and operate and feel totally different. And you also have to have a particular frequency or vehicle or avatar to operate in that area because it has to match the rule sets. Here's an example. If I want to jump in the ocean, I can. If I want to go to the bottom of the ocean, I better be in a submarine or I will be crushed and die. But it's made of the same stuff, right? That's crazy. But the rule set says the further you go down, the density builds and the pressure builds and yada yada. But if I get in a submarine, I can submerge down there safely. Now, that explains how how you have to have a proper vehicle to go into a particular area. Now, this vehicle here, I've talked about in many videos, that our physical body is simply a physical vehicle for our non-physical consciousness to enter down into and to play this game, okay? You cannot fully enjoy and experience this Earth life simulator without being in the right avatar, right? Because you can come down here as pure consciousness, of course. And that's what we see when we see light orbs everywhere. It's just conscious. It's a disembodied consciousness. But you can't fully experience things. You can't do all the fun stuff. You can't talk to people. You can't go ride a bike. You can't play in the ocean. Can't have sex. Can't eat chocolate. All that fun stuff without having a physical body. So we see consciousnesses here all the time in the form of light orbs, but that's just a disembodied consciousness. There's only so much interaction you can have there. Now, if a extraterrestrial, an alien, which is literally just a consciousness from somewhere else, whose origin point is not focused on Earth, it's focused somewhere else. Now, where they're from, they might not have bodies anymore. They might not need them. Like Robert Monroe in one of his books, he talks about in the future, when he goes to the future on Earth, they have ascended out of the need for physical bodies and they live just as spirits in the spirit world. But it's super cool because they have these pods underneath trees, at the base of trees, and they'll come down to Earth and they'll jump in the bodies. The pods have human bodies in them, and they'll go and frolic through fields and swim in streams and stuff and just have fun. It's like R&R. It's like a vacation for their soul. So how we do out of body travel, they do in body travel. So like right now I can go home, put on my headset, listen to Hemi sync, and I can leave my body, right? Anybody can have an out of body experience temporarily. They do the opposite. They have in-body experiences, right? So even on Earth, the human consciousness evolves to a point where it uses a body as like renting a car. You hop in it, you have some fun, you hop out. Now, what's to say aliens or extraterrestrials aren't doing the same thing? Because Robert Monroe just went to the year 3000 something. So that's just 1,000 years in the future. Some of these alien species, or some of these, can't even say that. Some of these non-Earth consciousnesses might be millions of years more advanced than us. They might easily be able to hop from avatar to avatar. So imagine that there's a craft outside of Earth that literally 3D prints on demand, avatars and craft, okay? Now, if that's the case, if there is this craft that's literally just AI generating and 3D printing different meat suits and craft to come into the simulator, what would we expect to find? We would expect that just like AI, if I go to AI right now and I put in a command, make a picture of UFO, right? It's going to make a pretty picture of UFO. And if I hit, regenerate 1,000,000 times, I'm going to get 1,000,000 different UFOs that are all slightly different, okay? No two will be alike every time. I've tried it. Now, what do we see with UFOs? Everyone's different. And what do we see with the alien bodies? Everyone's different, but they follow a pattern. So, for example, on Earth, there's something like 20 million species that fit under this one branch of the family tree. And out of all those, humans are the only ones that walk upright, right? Only bipedal. So what's up with that? Out of 20 million species? Name another species that walks like we do. It's crazy. There aren't any. So what are the odds that every single alien that comes here from all the different galaxies and planets, doesn't matter if they're insectoid or mantis or grays or, Nordics or reptilians, doesn't matter. They're all 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, mouth. They look like humans. That's statistically impossible. the odds are if they're coming from different planets with different rule sets from all over the universe, some of them are going to have 2 heads or 12 arms or whatever, right? But they all look like us. Why? And all the craft, they're all the same but different, right? Like they always talk about how, you know, it's a flying saucer. Okay, explain it. Oh, it has lights around it. The next guy's, oh, it didn't have lights, but it had portholes. Okay, the next guy, oh, it had these little legs and antennas. They're all different. That's what you would expect to see if these were print on demand, one-time use, throwaway, you know, 3D printed vehicles and avatars, right? They don't care if there's consistency. They're making it. It's just a virtual vehicle to come into this virtual world. It just has to match the density and the frequency and the laws and the rule sets, right? It just has to match so that they can come in here. You know, it's like renting a car. So they're 3D printing these one-use throwaway avatars and craft. That explains why we don't have like a UFO on a flatbed that they wheel out and say, look, we have one. It explains why we don't have bodies, you know, and that kind of stuff. Because think about a human body. This is a throwaway thing too. Our consciousness, you know, is injected into a baby human. And then when it dies, the consciousness goes back up to spirit. And what happens to the body? It deteriorates. It turns into nothing, to ash. Now, we deteriorate, but it's slowly because we're organic. We're made here. What if something is 3D printed outside of this realm? The consciousness leaves it, right, to go back home or whatever happens. What would happen to that body? It would probably just gone, vanish, right? So that's why this thing is so elusive. That's why there's no bodies in craft, because they're not real in the sense that we think they're real. They are disposable, you know, they are virtual, right? They serve a purpose. They're temporary use just for the consciousness to come into this simulator, because the simulator has a rule set and the consciousness has to match this rule set. The vehicle has to match, you know? So it's like a submarine can go to the bottom of the ocean, but I couldn't fly an airplane to the bottom of the ocean because the vehicle doesn't match. So there's something that's creating these vehicles and these avatars to come into the simulator. The consciousnesses use them and then they discard them. And I think that is what aliens are. That's why they're fleeting. That's why, you know, all aliens look similar but different. That's why all craft looks similar but different. That's why there is no permanent evidence of any of this stuff. We have to realize that this is a virtual reality simulator that we're in, and that we enter into it, our consciousness, into this temporary vehicle, and that aliens are no different. The difference is they can create theirs. It's like selecting a character in a video game. They can customize their avatar, they can 3D print it, they can hop in, they can come in here, do their thing, and they can get the heck out, you know? And I think that's why we see so many different types of behaviors and stuff, because who knows how many different consciousnesses are coming here. You know, it's a pretty exciting place. It's a beautiful place. Look at this place. Humans are pretty entertaining, but if they're entering into like these avatars that look like us, like let's say they just designed one that looked just like humans. Maybe that's what the hybrid program is. You know, they're trying to, like, I don't know, hybridize so that they can have more permanent beings here. So maybe they're not throwaways. Maybe that's what the hybrid program is. Like they're tired of using these disposable avatars and they want one that's, you know, I don't know, more suited for them, but also suited for this planet. Maybe that's what the hybrid program is. But I mean, at the core of this, it's a consciousness simulator, and you have to have the correct avatar to enter in any sort of sustainable way. And that's how the simulator theory explains UFOs and aliens. I so far have not been able to poke any holes in it, even though I've been trying. So if you can, please let me know, because everything needs to be falsifiable. And you know, right now it's just a working theory, but I like it. It explains so much that none of these other theories could explain, you know, and it really matches a lot of stuff that I've experienced myself and that I've researched, and it's kind of fun, right? Anyways, it also is a bit of a obviously. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I always love reading your comments and hearing your input. Have a beautiful day. Peace.